Right, well, let's get a check on some of the other global headlines we're following this Friday lunchtime in Seoul. For that, we turn to Eunice Kim, standing by at the NewsCenter.
Eunice, now, despite a ceasefire being in place for 8 weeks now, the fighting in eastern Ukraine between government troops and pro-Russian separatists continues.
Right, Jinjoo. And in a move seen as a commitment to Kiev in the conflict, America's vice president arrived for talks in Ukraine on Thursday with new pledges of support. Hyun-bin has the details.
U.S. Vice President Joe Biden arrived in Kiev on Thursday to discuss new non-lethal aid to Ukraine, including deliveries of the first Humvee vehicles as an expansion of support to fight pro-Russian separatists in the country's east. Russia warned the U.S. hours before Biden's arrival against the move.
We have heard repeated confirmations from the U.S. administration that only non-lethal weapons are being delivered to Ukraine. If there is a change in such policy, then we can speak of a serious destabilizing factor that seriously impacts the balance of forces in this region.
Russia cautioned against a major change in policy from the U.S. in regard to the conflict in Ukraine.
That would be a direct violation of agreements reached. The Geneva Statement from April 17th, where apart from the major task for starting national dialogue in Ukraine, the task of stopping all fighting in this territory was repeated again.
The U.S. backs Kiev in its struggle against pro-Russian rebels in 2 eastern regions and imposed sanctions on Moscow as a result of its alleged support. Russia denies providing the rebels with arms and troops. Washington says it will continue to assess how best to support Ukraine and that nothing is off the table, including lethal aid. The United Nations says more than 4,300 people have died since the conflict sparked in mid-April. It adds that nearly 1,000 people, or an average of 13 people per day, have been killed in fighting since a ceasefire was called on September 5th. Hyun-bin, Arirang News.